Aaron's asking about how would you handle a tenant that's smoking in the unit? How would you give them fees to deter the behavior? Aaron, I would treat it as hopefully your lease has built-in lease violation charges, and so our lease has and it's per incident. That's kind of important, and that gives you a lot of flexibility, a lot of leeway. So per incident of a lease violation, and hopefully it's built into your lease that the tenant is not allowed to smoke in the unit. And with the per incident, you again have a lot of flexibility with it. I mean, I don't know if I would charge it, excessively to every time the tenant lights up a cigarette, or every time you think the tenant lit up a cigarette. I would go ahead and charge it once, and every time you get a report from a neighbor or another tenant in the building that gives you evidence that the person's smoking, I would just keep charging it and charging it and charging it. And this is a behavioral fee, so it is going to deter the behavior. Obviously, because it's going to get extremely expensive to charge this fee, and I wouldn't keep it a very small fee. I would keep it reasonable enough that it's not going to cause you a problem if you're ever in a courtroom. I'm not an attorney, I can't give you legal advice, but I would keep it somewhat reasonable, but I would definitely make it punitive. It is a behavioral fee, and I would also treat it as a profit center. So I would actually take that money as my own. The tenant is causing you a problem, and you are having to deal with this behavior. I would not treat it as a smoking situation. Again, I would treat it as a lease violation. Why? You could treat it as a smoking situation and have something built in the lease that if they are caught smoking, you're going to charge them this, and this. Rather, you want to reserve the right to actually, when they move out, now you have to fix that property. So that behavioral fee should be yours. It is a profit center, should be going in your pocket, should compensate you for all your time and aggravation having to deter this behavior. Now that the tenant has moved out, you should be able to take the money out of the security deposit to right the property. And it's going to take a little bit to right that property. You quite possibly are going to have to repaint the property. You might have to encapsulate the smell of smoke. You might have to use an ozone machine. We've had situations where tenants have moved out where we've actually had to clean out the ductwork. And that was, we took several steps to get rid of the smoke, including, encapsulating it with paint, using an ozone machine. Ultimately, we've had to clean out the ductwork. It gets expensive. So you want to reserve the right to be able to, and the ability to utilize the security deposit to right the property. So I would use those behavioral fees to deter the behavior. Get your money to keep for your aggravation, security deposit to right the property. All right, I hope that helps. And make sure your lease actually does have those in it. So have a lease violation fee in it. So just basically say anytime they violate the lease, they're going to be charged X per incident. And then I would also have a separate section in the lease, as we have, that basically states that if there's any pet odors or any smoke odors, that have to be removed when the tenant moves out, you're going to charge, an administration fee on top of that, and you're also going to charge them certain fees to be able to take steps against it. I mean, that gets a little dicey because it's hard to prove that there's a smell. You can't show up to a courtroom, with a photo showing that a property smells. However, I would put that in the lease and make sure you're covered in that way too. I would actually specifically mention smoking, specifically mention pet odors, and that, but I would also have a lease violation fee. All right, as usual, happy rental property investing, and good luck with your smoking tenant.